Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel for everything Arsenal and everything football. Thanks for being here. I hope you're all doing well. And welcome to another episode of the Prediction Show. And I have a very special guest with me. No, she's not an Arsenal fan this time around. I have a Magpie, I have a Newcastle fan. Kendall, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for coming on. You've been doing great things the past few months. Where can they follow you?
You can just follow me on Kendall Rowan at pretty much everything. So if you search me, I'll come up somewhere.
How about YouTube? Where can they get you on YouTube?
YouTube's Kendall Rowan as well. But I also do a ladies panel on a Monday night. That is for all things Newcastle United. And that's on NUFC Matters YouTube. And then on a Friday, I do one on the Football Terrace as well.
She's busy, as you can see.
I'm everywhere.
So keep on the good work. So match day 8 is almost here. The last one before another annoying international break again. 2 weeks again. So some good fixtures. 2 on a Friday, 4 on Saturday, and another 4, I think, on a Sunday. So very good fixtures. Ken, what have you made of your season so far, Newcastle?
I can't really complain. My only complaint is that the football hasn't been like good to watch, like for us. We've sort of grinded out results in some that we wouldn't expect. For example, like against Everton. But I can't really complain about our points total at the moment. 11 points is pretty good going for the first 7 games of the season. But yeah, the football's been a bit boring to watch and it's frustrating at times. But the last 2 games have been a lot better and better to watch. So hopefully we just capitalise on that and continue with that sort of football.
Yeah, before we get into the predictions, I wanted to ask you about the league table. I hope you can see it clearly.
Yeah.
Like any surprises in the bottom 11?
Well, yeah, obviously, I think the shock is probably Man United for everyone. I guess, I mean, I know sometimes they don't have the best start to the season, but this is the worst position I've seen them in this far into the season for a long time. If I'm honest, the bottom 3, I probably wouldn't have had Sheffield United in there at the beginning of the season because they had such a good season last year. So I am surprised that they've started so badly this season. That's a shock to me, but I'm happy that we're 11th. We're 11th. I mean, to be honest, if I'm being realistic, I'd be all right with 11th at the end of the season, really, because it's an improvement on the last couple of years where we've been 14th, 13th. So
yeah. If the FA end up cancelling the top 10, you actually win the league. You know that.
Well,
you actually win the league.
Hopefully that happens. So I don't think it'll happen in my lifetime otherwise.
So you expect United to go up. You expect each other team to go to the top of the table, like top 10 from that list?
Probably, I would say Leeds, because I think they kicked on really early on in the season and they're really doing really well. I've heard a lot of people saying that they think Leeds are probably going to get Europa League this year. I don't think that's an unrealistic view at all. I think they probably have a good chance to, but yeah, I think Man United will be better than that. West Ham, they've kicked on again this time. Past couple of games, they look a lot better than they did at the beginning of the season. So
I remember that game where you smashed them up in the first game. So.
Yeah, first game of the season we beat them 3-0. So I think a couple of teams will get better than that.
The top 10 surprises.
Southampton especially, because they've been pretty much, like 10th and below for a long time. And then obviously Man City, I don't know what's happened to Man City this year. They just don't look like the Man City that we all know and love. And obviously they were without Aguero for a lot of the beginning of the season. So maybe that's had an effect on them. I don't know. But I like to see teams like Leicester up there. I like to see teams like Southampton up there. I wish it was us, but I'm not sure about that yet.
Yeah, so speaking of Southampton, that's the team you're facing this weekend on Friday away to Southampton. What are you expecting from the game and your prediction?
Well, I think we pretty, equal at the moment. We're slightly more defensive. They score a couple more goals than us, and they've obviously got some standout players like Vestergaard, who had a really good game at the weekend. Ward-Prowse had a really good game. The only saving grace, I think, for us, which is why I've gone with the prediction that I have, is that Ings is out injured. He is having surgery today, so he'll not be available for Friday, thank God, because I think that would have been, tough for us. I honestly think that we'll be all right. We haven't got any injuries that I'm aware of apart from Shelby at the moment, who would be in the starting lineup. I think it'll be an interesting game to see. And I think it'll probably, the way that things are looking at the moment, I have gone with a 2-2 draw. That's hopeful for me. I didn't want to be unrealistic and think that we would beat them because it's Newcastle United. We never do anything the easy way. So, I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw.
The thing with Southampton, they do score a bunch of goals, as you've said. I think they scored 3 against Chelsea. Yeah. They even scored 4 against Villa, even though they do concede at times. And for you guys, a 2-1 win against Brighton. Against which team am I talking about? Everton. And then you also got a good draw away to Wolves, 1-1, good free kick from Murphy. So I'm expecting you guys to get something. I'm so glad I've had Callum Wilson from game week 1 in the FPL. I always feel like he's got a bunch of goals. So my prediction, I think I'll actually agree with you, but I'm going to go for a few less goals. So 1-1 draw. Southampton 1, Newcastle 1. Yeah. The second game on that, or the first game on that Friday, is going to be Brighton and Burnley. I'm not sure if you can actually pay £15 for this, Kendall, but Brighton Burnley.
No, that's not a thing you would pay £15 for, I don't think. To be honest, I mean, I'm totally against the £15 thing for any game. I don't think Brighton Burnley is going to be top of your list if you are going to pay for it. I mean, Brighton looks pretty solid from the start of the season. They beat us 3-0 second game. Tariq Lamptey has been an unbelievable signing for them. He really, really, really good, and I think he'll just get better and better for me. Burnley have obviously done really bad there at the bottom of the table. They've sort of been mid-bottom of the table for like 4 years now. And we've seen it with the likes of Bournemouth, for example, where mediocrity isn't enough one season. It is enough one season and it isn't the next, and obviously look where they are now. So Burnley need to start kicking on, otherwise it's just going to be game over for them, because we're near Christmas, which is the vital time for the Premier League, and you start seeing teams drift away and things like that. So I think it'll be 2-0 Brighton for me. They didn't really have a bad game against Tottenham at the weekend, if I'm honest. In fact, I think they were quite unlucky not to get something out of that game. Graham Potter's doing quite a good job, even though the league table doesn't really reflect how good they've been playing. So it's 2-0 but Brighton for me.
Yeah, of course he took away Hendrick from them. Have you been happy with him?
Yeah, he's been okay. I mean, he's not like a world beater. He's never going to be that. Burnley fans did say that he wasn't going to be, the most standout player ever. But he's been solid enough. I'm on the fence a bit about him at the moment. I know a lot of fans do like him, but I'm a bit on the fence because I just don't know what he offers our midfield over other players. But I'm interested to see. I don't have like any negative things to say about him at the moment, but I just don't know physically how much he's going to improve that midfield. So, it was a decent signing for free. So.
Awesome. So 2-0 win for you. I'm going to go for 1-1 draw, another boring 1-1 draw. And then we head on to Saturday, Everton against Manchester United, probably the best game of the weekend. United so far, have you been impressed with them? Of course, you've played against them. Both teams, in fact, the last 2 home games for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, Man United, I really thought it was going to be a good time for us to play them because Harry Maguire had such a bad few months and wasn't on form. Man United weren't on form at the time. But then they went and beat us 4-1, which was a bit of a nightmare for us because we had a really terrible game. It was probably the worst game we've had all season. It was very terrible viewing. Second half, we just absolutely crumbled. And the scoreline massively flattered them because I wouldn't say for about 70 minutes that Man United were that good that day. But Everton, obviously, they had a really, really good start to the season, made some brilliant signings. I really thought that they were, going to be up there for top 3, top 4 this year. They've had a couple of injuries injuries and suspensions the past few weeks. Obviously, I think this is probably Richarlison's back now from his suspension. James wasn't available against us. I don't know whether he's fit now or what that was about. So if Richarlison's back, if James is back, obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin is doing amazing again, even though he was a bit non-existent against us the other day, but maybe that was the type of game it was. I think for me, I can't really see this being anything other than an Everton win if all the players are back. So I've gone 3-1 Everton because I think Man United will get a penalty.
I'd say the same thing, but I'm really concerned if Richarlison doesn't start or something like that, or James is not fit, and then all of a sudden Iwobi and those kind of players. I'm going to go for United win as much as it pains me. I'm going to go for 2-1 United. Good thing you brought that game you played against them. That 4th goal they scored against you, that annoyed me so much. Like in the very last second, and the time already passed. Like it was 95th minute or something. So and you always do well against them at home. So it was unfortunate. The next game is Crystal Palace Leeds. Just a quick prediction on this one.
I just think it'll be 1-1. To be honest, they're pretty equal in the table at the moment. I think they've both got 11 points. Leeds have obviously started really, really well, but they've sort of dipped off a little bit now. Obviously got beat at Leicester by the weekend. So I'm going 1-1. I could be wrong. Leeds could maybe do something. They have got the players to do that, Bamford and things. But I've got 1-1 Palace Leeds.
I'm going to go for a 3-2 Leeds win, bunch of goals.
I think it'll be a close game, that one.
Yeah. The next game, West Ham and Fulham. You've played West Ham this season, and Fulham not yet. What's your prediction for that one?
I've gone 2-0 West Ham. I haven't really watched Fulham at all. In fact, I haven't watched one game of Fulham this season. I'm only going off, like match commentaries and a few bits of highlights. I don't think they're massively great at the moment, and I think West Ham's form is quite good at the moment. So I'm going 2-0 West Ham.
2-0 West Ham. I've watched Fulham a couple of times. Of course, they played Arsenal in the first day, and the other day they got their first win against West Brom. They're not that good, especially defensively, so you can see West Ham scoring, especially if Antonio is back. If he's not, then it'll be close. So I'm going to go for 2-1 West Ham win. And then Chelsea, Sheffield United. Chelsea, have you been impressed with their buys, those expensive players and stuff?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a funny one for Chelsea because obviously they did spend so much money with a lot of different positions, and obviously they didn't really have a massive great start to the season because they were still figuring out positions for some of the players. They've had some really, really good games and then some not great games. So I think it'll be a Chelsea win. I'm saying 2-0 Chelsea. Probably, Havertz, Werner, Ziyech coming into his own now. So I'm going 2-0 Chelsea because I think Sheffield United have struggled in the 19th in the table. So,
So you think they're gonna keep struggling, Sheffield United?
Yeah, I think so. They haven't really improved their squad a lot. So whether they do in January or not, I don't know. But at the moment, I can't really see them doing a lot.
I can see more goals than that. I'm going to go for 4-0 Chelsea. Unfortunately, Ziyech, as you've mentioned, playing very well. Again, as much as it pains me, I can see another Chelsea win. Probably our rivals for top 6 and top 5, all that. So let's go into Sunday. West Brom, Tottenham. Speaking about teams that pain me, Tottenham playing West Brom. Expectations on that game?
Yeah, Tottenham again. I think on form wise, apart from Liverpool, I think they've probably got one of the strongest attacks in the league. Son and Kane are just brilliant together. We've seen it, but they've been really unlucky with results. Getting draws that they sort of. Against us, I know they weren't happy about the draw that they got against us because of the VAR decision. But Bilic is kind of, he's not really done much with West Brom at the moment. We've seen them get beat a few times now by a lot of goals. But however, Tottenham do have Europa League, I believe. Are they playing this week? I don't know. But they've been obviously playing in Europa League, so it might have tired them out a bit. I don't know. but I am going with 2-0 Tottenham win. I did sort of flip between 2 and 3-0, but I think if they've got Europa games, I think 2-0 Tottenham.
This is the kind of game where you can see Kane scoring a hat-trick. This is the kind of game where he smashes a hat-trick. So I'm going to go for 4-2 Tottenham. The next game on Sunday, Leicester against Wolves. Big game, this one. Last season probably would have been fighting for top 5.
Big game, and I think it's two pretty equal teams as well. We've obviously played Wolves, got a draw with them. They weren't on great form that day, I must admit. They weren't the Wolves that we are used to seeing now, you know, the attacking style, with some really standout players like Jimenez, for example. Obviously, they've lost Jota this year, who's gone to Liverpool, but they've brought in other players, and people like Podence has really shown really good promise for Wolves this year. I think it'll be a really close game, but I think it'll probably be a few goals. So I've gone for a 2-2 draw, because I think they're pretty well matched in the league, really.
It's 2-2. I'm going to go for probably a Leicester win, 2-1 win for Leicester. And I'm liking the way you're setting up our next game, like early hoop and stuff. So speaking of Jota, City, Liverpool this weekend. I'd forgotten about this game. This is the biggest game of the weekend. Last season, probably the last 2 seasons have been fighting for the trophy. So what are your expectations for this game? Like Liverpool wins 5-0 the other day against Atalanta, City 3-0.
Yeah, I don't know, because City just haven't looked, as I said right at the beginning, City just haven't looked themselves this year. I don't know what it is about them, what's happened to them. I don't know if it's sort of the different players. I really don't know. But then in other games, as you say, you see them be the City that we are all used to seeing, the attacking, goals here, there and everywhere. And Liverpool are obviously top of the table now, City are 10th. I know it's close in the table at the moment, but yeah, I think Liverpool are going to take it, unfortunately. I think, I don't know about goal-wise, because obviously, as you say, Liverpool just scored 5 yesterday. And Jota had a hat-trick. But yeah, I think it'll be close. And even though we're used to seeing goals, I've gone 2-1, because I do think it will be quite close. But we'll see. I really don't know. There's probably going to be more goals than that, really, if you look at it.
Yeah, probably I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this one. If Liverpool win, then all of a sudden they're favorites again to win the league again this one, unfortunately. So it's going to be a good game. And to answer your question on City, whether it's new players, I heard someone saying that some of those players are just tired of the tactics that Guardiola has, all that fighting and all that power and all that energy needed in training. They're just tired of it. I mean, you get tired of someone after some time, but I don't know, man. But they've been struggling the last 2 seasons. So you've gone for Liverpool win. I'm going to go for a draw. The final game of the weekend, please, there's a correct answer to this, Kendall. Arsenal, Aston Villa.
I don't know if you're gonna like me answer. You might half like it, you might half not. They're obviously both very equal in the league at the moment, 12 points each, I think. Villa have got a game in hand, I guess, in the league. So yeah, I don't know. Arsenal are looking better than they did last year, I must admit. Obviously, took Partey off my second team, which is Atletico Madrid, and did he get man of the match the other day or something? Yeah, so, you know, he's doing okay. He's starting to show what he can do. Villa, they lost, didn't they, at the weekend? So, I don't know. I think Arsenal might nick it. I think it might be 2-1 Arsenal, but I do think it'll be a good game to watch, obviously, if you're just a general football fan, because I think it will be pretty equal on both sides. But I think Arsenal might just kick on and win it.
I'll tell you, the fans who are watching this, majority of them, they're not going to be watching it in general. They're going to be watching it scared. So I'm going to go for a win, but I'm expecting Villa to get a goal, of course. Yeah. So I'm going to go for 3-1 win. We don't score that many goals these days, but we keep clean sheets. So I don't see us scoring 4 or 5. So those are your predictions for this weekend. So I always ask 2 questions at the end of 3 questions at the end of every episode. So Kendall, the first one is, which game will have the most goals this weekend?
I think, I don't know. I'm going Leicester Wolves.
Leicester Wolves. Awesome. Yeah. And which 3 players will definitely score this weekend?
I think Kane, definitely. If Arsenal are going to win. Aubameyang, definitely, and Callum Wilson. Gotta get someone in there.
You were supposed to say since Arsenal are gonna win, Aubameyang, and since Newcastle are gonna win, Wilson. Yes. I actually agree with Wilson. I have him in my FPL team, so I want him to score. And
me too.
Apart from Newcastle, which game will you be watching and which game will you be avoiding to watch?
Definitely probably watching City v Liverpool because that'll be one of the most exciting at the weekend. And just probably avoid Brighton Burnley. That's really not a game that I would choose to watch, even though I do watch most football games, but no.
Awesome. Thank you again to Kendall for coming on. Where can they follow you again?
They can just follow me at Kendall Rowan. I think it's on the screen somewhere. And just follow me. That's YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, wherever else.
Yes, so those are your Matchday 8 predictions. Of course, I'll be back with the Fantasy Tip Show tomorrow. Thank you to Kendall for coming on. And I'll talk to you guys later. Keep staying safe.